Welcome back to Mo Adventures. In today's episode, we are heading back to Jefferson City to attend the Missouri Military History Weekend, so stay tuned.
Hi guys, we are finally here. It's a rainy day here in Jefferson City. Mr. Gary Hill, he's a World War II reenactment, and this is his Jeep. And Gary, what year is this Jeep?
This is a 1943. It was made by Ford. It was known as a Ford GPW. Willys couldn't keep up with the production numbers that the government wanted, so Ford had to help out a little bit. So Willys actually made more of them during the war, so the Fords are a little bit more rarer. But overall, there was something like 3/4 Jeeps made during the war years, from like 41 to 45. And so this one's 1943. Pretty much original. It's got the original engine and transmission in it. Had it all rebuilt, and it's a lot of fun.
Is it hard finding parts for a Jeep like this?
No, the parts are pretty easy, to be honest with you. There's lots of companies out there that actually make reproduction parts for them. So, like, you know, I had no problems finding parts. This was a complete basket case when I got it, and spent about 3 years restoring it with my dad.
So how fast does this go? Do you drive this here, or do you trailer it?
I trailer it. It's not fast enough to go on the highway. It'd be pretty dangerous. I do drive it on the roads, like back roads and stuff, and normal cruising speed is about 40 miles an hour. It seems pretty happy around there. The military manual says it will top out at 60, but I wouldn't want to get it going that fast.
So you use this at the reenactments where you do the battles?
Yep. Yeah, we do all kinds of events. We do parades, convoys, little events like this, and then we do events where we have, you know, battles that we put on for the public. Yep, four-wheel drive. It's got a little flathead 4-cylinder engine in it, putting out about 60 horsepower. That's it.
Very nice.
My nickname in the unit's Doc. I'm the unit medic.
Okay.
So everybody calls me Doc. My real name is Brian, but most of them don't even know what my real name is. But I got it. My youngest son was 16 and he got into this, and after a year of persuading, he drugged me into it. And I've since surpassed him on what I've spent on it, because I've really gotten into the hobby. I enjoy it. Met a lot of World War II veterans, and being able to display a medic setup, because most guys want to be an infantryman, they want to shoot the guns, and so not a lot of guys will stick with the medic portion. I decided to honor the medics and show the kind of equipment that they would use out in the field or in a aid station situation. Standard equipment in the field was, of course, their Red Cross helmet. They wore medical bags, 2 medical bags with a medical harness, and they would have all their bandages and syringes of morphine and such in each of these bags to take care of the group of soldiers they were with. All the Jeeps, most of the military vehicles had a medical kit that if there was a vehicle nearby, they could resupply from their kits. Or if somebody on the kit was injured, they had basic setup tourniquets, different gauze, iodine for, cleaning wounds and whatnot. And then also early in the war, they carried a gas casualty kit, because when we first started World War II, we had the fear that the Germans would use chemical warfare like they did in World War I. So everything was geared that direction. We had chemical kits on the Jeeps. They had decontamination kits on the Jeeps. Even our uniforms, which this is actually an original uniform, have what they call gas flaps in them, which was extra material. And these went across your chest. You have the same flap on the fly of your pants, and then the inside the cuffs of the shirt, all for gas protection in case of chemical warfare. They eventually phased that out because they realized the Germans weren't going to go back to that route. Some of the basic stuff they would have had at the aid station. This is a resuscitator. It's what we now call a bag valve mask that you see on TV. It's got the big bag with the oxygen. This is the original version. They were actually developed for the Army in 1942. This is a patent pending, so this is the first type ever made, and it's called a bellows resuscitator.
This is just some signal core stuff that I've been collecting over the last few months. Here we got a spool of comm wire, which would have been used on the old crank style field phones. This is a transmitter set. It's a BC 654. Could have been used at a base camp, or it would have also been used in Jeeps. Here's just some test equipment, a frequency meter.
This is a switchboard. It's a 6-line switchboard. So you can have up to 6 phones, field phones, attached to this at any one time. To actually put a call out to someone, you would just hold the switch up, ring them up. Once they answer, the operator has a chest mic that would sit here, and some very fancy headphones so you can talk. You just have to hold this up to talk, let it go. And then if one of the field phones calls in and wants to be put through to another field phone, you use your plugs and you find out, and you just plug them into each other, and then they can talk and you can unplug them. This is nice. It has when lines call in, there is a buzzer and a little light, so that way you know which line it is that is calling you in. This is a field desk. We've got our map, typewriter, a place here for all of your different types of forms, because an army actually marches on paperwork.
This is one of the types of World War II mine detectors they had. This one was slightly different because it would pick up both metallic and non-metallic mines. A battery pack would have been in here, so this would have been a lot heavier than it is right now. And then this just connects to the actual mine detector, and then the other cable is for his headphones.
So where did you find this?
I found it at a Army surplus store down in Springfield, Missouri. This one's complete and it's in really good shape. 4/12/44. The box was packed.
This particular one is made by Springfield Armory. It's chambered in 30-06. It fires an 8-round end-block clip. There's an old saying about loading these. When you load them, you've got to outrun it'll take your finger off. That is the M1 Grand.
Any questions? 9mm bolt action rifle that used a 5-round stripper clip. Unlike the Garand, the rounds were fed into the weapon, and then the stripper clip was removed. So the clip didn't go into the weapon with the rest of it, so they would just discard the clip or the stripper when they were finished with it. Now obviously, as a bolt action rifle, it had a much slower rate of fire than the Garand, and it only carried 5 rounds where the Garand carried 8. So in a lot of ways, the Garand was a much faster weapon to use in combat. However, a lot of people think that the Mauser was a lot more accurate at longer ranges. The Mauser had an effective range of about 500 meters unless you put a scope on it. There was a sniper version that had a scope that was effective out to about 1,000 meters. Again, this is an 8mm round, and what's interesting about the Mauser is that it uses the exact same round as the MG42 machine gun. So you're going to see this operate, and then we're going to show you the machine gun a little bit later. But the MP40 streamlined the production process and had a lot less jam issues than the 38 did. It uses a 32 round magazine, which is 9mm. It uses the exact same round that the Luger and the Walter P38. It had a relatively slow rate of fire when compared to other submachine guns, but it was considered extremely accurate and very reliable. It was usually issued to vehicle crews and paratroopers because of its small size. It was a fully automatic open bolt submachine gun, which means when it fired, the bolt was open before you pulled the trigger. So unlike a lot of other automatic weapons that are kind of the opposite. Machine gun. It uses an 8mm round and can fire up to 1,200 rounds per minute. It was considered so fast that you couldn't distinguish the individual rounds going off. As a matter of fact, a fully automatic version sounds a lot like somebody ripping a piece of paper. It has such a distinctive sound that the Allied forces were actually trained that if they heard it on the battlefield to avoid it. Don't go anywhere near it. They had no tactics to combat the MG42. Go ahead.
Special thanks to the World War II Historical Society, Inc. and our friend Gary for inviting us out to see their military memorabilia. We saw a lot of cool, privately owned World War II vehicles, from a 1940s Jeep to a German motorcycle and sidecar. They did some weapons demonstrations. The encampments included U.S. medical instruments and communications equipment. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and remember to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Until next time, bye!